Sweet. Okay, so hi, I'm Scott Jocelyn. I am the pitch and lead of the team for SATMain, and with me are Patrick Ramusin, one of our lead programmer actually, Matt Devlin and Ryan Fox, who are two artists. It's not our game. So SATMain is a simulation where you fly a single-manned shuttle tasked with repairing a satellite that's been busted up by a rogue asteroid. Right now, as you see, this is of course not the Oculus Rift view, but for display purposes, we're showing you all of the assets that were generated by our artists. We have our satellite here that's been already destroyed, and it's very, very difficult to fly this thing, by the way. So, the controls of this are actually done on a 360 controller, with the D-pad actually applying thrust to your vehicle. The Unity actually has a programming group of methods that add force instead of translating your object. It adds force to the direction you want it to go. With it, we've actually had the D-pad apply force with forward thrust, reverse thrust, port, and starboard. The right analog stick is controlling his tilt, and the left analog stick does the turning and yawing. Right now, he's actually used the grappler to grab one of the broken pieces of the satellite and is attempting to get it back to where it's supposed to be. There's still work to be done. We're going to continue working on this after we're done here. But do you want to go ahead and fire up the Oculus Rift? Because with the Oculus Rift, you can actually see around the cockpit as you turn around. With that, the oxygen and fuel gauges at the bottom there are in replacement to your GUI in terms of how long you have to play this game for. Oh, can't, no. So, we can't play, okay, yeah, we can't play the Oculus on this because it would divide this display up for the purposes of playing on the Oculus. But, any questions at all? All right. All these assets were actually generated by our two artists. Matt Devlin made the satellite and broke it up, and Ryan took care of all of our title screen GUI art as well as the texture for our spaceship. Overall, you have either until your fuel gauge or your oxygen gauge goes down. The oxygen gauge goes down at a relative rate over time, so that's really your biggest game timer. The fuel actually only goes down as you apply thrust. Now, like I said before, it will add force to your ship, so when you can move your ship without burning thrust. When you burn thrust, it just applies the force to your object, and even if you're not burning thrust, if you haven't counter thrusted, it will still keep moving in the general direction you pushed it in the first place. You can, and then you die. Sorry, it's playing on God mode right now, so can't really die yet. Any more questions? That's actually.
No, the Oculus has a lot of latency issues, especially DK1. So So what we had to do was we had to look at where we could save optimization and look at the code and make sure everything was running smoothly. So that way, that when you put on the headset, there's not lag that gets you motion sickness. It's like one of the big no-nos to the Oculus is any kind of lag in code and big art assets. So we kept everything small, light, and fast, so that way it
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, that was pretty great.